Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast, and happy birthday to the Nintendo Switch. It is 7 years old. 7 years ago, we were booting up our Switches for the very first time, amazed by the size of it, booting up not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild for the first time, and getting lost in the world. You guys remember that day?
The cat is distracting Rebecca because it's just sitting behind Donnie looking like goddamn Batman. So majestic. I love it.
We love the kitty.
Kitty's amazing. Yes.
7 years.
7 years, guys.
I remember when I got it too. It was an amazing experience. I didn't think I was going to get one. And I went to a Best Buy and they sold me a whole bunch of unnecessary shit I didn't need, nor do I own. It was like, you have to buy this stuff with it. Like, I can't just buy the Switch by itself. They're like, absolutely not.
Absolutely
What were
not.
your launch day games? Do you remember?
Breath of the Wild, and it was, I think it was 1-2 Switch.
I
That was a bad choice.
didn't
all
do
around.
it. I didn't get that one. I got Snipper Clips instead.
That was just
It's a better
bad all
choice.
around because I don't know if you guys remember this. Shortly after the Switch launched, we had a hurricane down here,
Oh,
like a really bad one. I was like without power.
I don't.
for
Yeah, I
like,
don't remember that.
yeah. I was without power for like a week. And the only thing I had to
You
play was
couldn't
like,
The Switch.
yeah.
That's awesome.
well,
No.
wait. Were you able? You weren't able to play because you didn't have power. It probably died eventually.
Well, yeah. I mean, it died eventually, but
but you
No,
were
for
able. to
3
use
hours,
it.
you were set.
I don't know if y'all know this. I have a car. I can just
Yeah.
charge my
Yeah,
Switch
you
in
can
the
charge
car.
it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When we've
That's
had the
fair.
power go out,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
when we've had the power go out, like everybody breaks out the Switches and 3DSs, like the whole family. That's like a big part of it. It's like, all right, everybody, charge it up.
And to bring it back to something we've talked about on the show, I think that's probably why I never got into Breath of the Wild, because my first experiences with that game was after a hurricane when it was the only thing I had left to play.
Mm.
In like this small handheld. Like, oh, I don't like
So you
that.
probably associate that game with that experience.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
'Cause I
Yeah.
could-
Jules, the Switch is 7 years young, my man.
Did
Yeah, I hear
you
that.
think that we would still be playing our original Nintendo Switch system 7 years later?
No. Not even a little.
Is this the longest
did.
lifespan of any of Nintendo's consoles?
That's a question I should know. Like, that's like something we should have looked up. We could have looked up beforehand. I have no
it
idea.
might be. It might
It
be.
might be. I mean, it's definitely. I don't know. I
The
think
Wii might be as long.
I was just about to say
Yeah, I think
that
the Wii is
generation, that whole generation, the PS3,
About
the
as
360,
long.
the Wii,
Yeah.
they had a really long lifespan.
Hmm.
And I've heard a lot of people talk about on podcasts and stuff over the years that was, we had the recession in 2008 and like the economic time, plus the hardware was still like pretty good. Like we weren't really making games in 2010 that couldn't run on consoles. It wasn't like it was really being, held back, so like that generation just had an abnormally long time on the market.
Hyrule
that-
brings up a good point. Remember that you couldn't even get it right away? A lot of people couldn't get one like for the first month or two.
I mean, I remember it being tough. I didn't have that issue, but I remember it being tough.
That's why I ended up getting it at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Because it was like so hard. That was like the last place they had. They were like, you have to buy extra stuff to get this game now. Okay.
Mm.
So just fuck me then, huh? I gotta buy snipper clips, huh? and a case that I'm not even gonna use.
I think that might have been the last time I ever pre-ordered something in store. I was so adamant about getting a pre-order. GameStop said that they were doing in-store pre-orders, and I was in grad school at the time, so my daytimes, my mornings were pretty free because I had night classes. So I remember I stood in line and pre-ordered it, and it was a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I pre-ordered everything. It was way different. I had literally everything. We had controllers. We had Breath of the Wild. We had the Master Collection. We had Snipper Clips. I did 1-2 Switch. I did Super Bomberman R. Like every Shovel Knight. Like we did literally all the amiibos. It was we use over the years we've adopted like the term Switchmas. March 3rd, 2017 was Switchmas for my kids.
A holiday.
I was at the GameStop that night with Caroline and everybody else, and it was at my old GameStop. We actually had moved the year prior, so I made the pre-order at my old GameStop and then moved like an hour and a half away.
Oh my god!
That day, I took the day off, drove to my old house, got in line, hung out with Caroline and everything, got all my stuff, got back in the car, drove back home.
Wow!
And then, like the dorky father that I am, had it all set up and everything like it was Christmas morning on the kitchen table for when the kids woke up.
Did you let them stay home from school that day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
100% school.
Nice.
School.
That would never have been an option in my household when I was growing up.
Oh no. And unlike Delvin, my take might be very different. I took 2 weeks off from that day going forward. Mm. It was like my first 2-week vacation at my job, really, because I'm not one to travel. Like you guys know, like I don't really go out or do a whole lot. Usually, honestly, when I take vacation, a lot of times I just stay home. I just stay around town, and when I don't really go out and go do things. So I took 2 weeks off and did nothing but play Breath of the Wild for 2 weeks, like straight around the clock. I remember we had the parental controls app. Mm-hmm. Is that still a thing?
Yes, it is.
I guess so.
It tracks your time. It's like the best way of tracking the time on the console for parents to make sure their kids don't play. Yep. And I remember we were sharing that at the time, like screenshot. I was putting in like literally work days, 8, 9, 10-hour days, just Breath of the Wild, one after the other for 2 weeks. So, yeah, it was very different. But what a time! What a day!
I know this is still a thing because my son turned 18, and the app told me like, your son can't be on here no more. He's 18. Stop doing it.
Oh, that's funny! Wow.
Because I forgot that he was on it. He's had it so long. Like I forgot he was on this damn.
They do that with cool Jack.
That they automatically do that.
They've done that with Jack on the Microsoft account, but it's 14. At 14, they hit me for like the PG-13 content. They're like, your child's old enough, you can raise this if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I did want to reiterate, try to quickly. I didn't buy everything on the Switch because I was loaded. I had happened to have traded in my Wii U and everything the day the Switch was announced. Not even announced. And this is something that comes up. This came up. Actually, I'm actually going to turn this into a thing. Sorry, guys.
No, go for it.
Kevin was on the Nintendo Shack with me. I don't know, probably like 6 months ago. I don't remember how long ago, but it was recently, like in the past year. And we were talking about I think 3DS. And at some point we got roped into like the Switch's schedule. And the reason this reminds me is we had this really terrible, I don't want to say terrible. I had a critical YouTube comment talking about how terrible we were at talking about the Switch's launch because we were off by the dates. Because I had said something like the Switch was announced like a year before launch. And I was talking about how long it was to wait for the Switch. And obviously the Switch was, and I'm putting in quotes for anybody who's listening to the podcast, the Switch was announced in October. We all know that. If you weren't there, if you didn't have a Wii U, if you weren't following the news, we were waiting on this damn thing for like 2 years.
It was always like tomorrow.
What I say was like in 2014 or 15, they talked about it at an investor meeting. That's when we got the dreaded NX. They were like, and we're working on the next thing. It's NX. And all of us with Wii U's are like, what? We just bought this damn thing. But it was a terrible console. And then I don't have all the time in front of me, so I'll probably butcher it again. But essentially, what I was essentially trying to say on that podcast was there was an E3 or 2 before the Switch came out where they talked about, they didn't announce the Switch, but they were like, Breath of the Wild's coming to our next console too. And we were like, well, that's got to be next year. And the next year came, and they didn't announce it then. But all the while in there, like I'll never forget it because the outlet that leaked it first was called Let's Play Video Games. And let me tell you something, running a podcast network called Play Some Video Games and them leaking the Switch wasn't like, there were so many people tweeting at us like we had just leaked
God.
it. But they leaked it. They had like a drawing of what they were like, we've talked to developers. It was the first time we saw the tablet, the Switch thing. So like if you were a Nintendo Shacker, because Nintendo Shack started before the Switch. If you were there on the Wii U days, you've heard all this. Like the lead up to me for Switch. So I think so many people are like, the Switch was great. They announced it and then it released. It's like,
No, it didn't.
no, it did not. I was waiting on this thing for no less than like 3 or 4 years. It took forever for this thing to come out. And just like it is now, we were always like, surely this year, right? It's got to be this year.
Kind of sounds familiar.
It kept
the whole same thing
longer.
over again.
100%.
I was pretty active on Reddit before the Switch's launch, or before the official reveal, and the meme was always like, the announcement's going to come tomorrow for sure. Like, tomorrow's the day, guys. And then eventually, tomorrow came.
And I remember when it leaked, that picture, the thing that I was really excited about, and I think the reason why it's like kind of burned in my memory, is I had that NVIDIA Shield. I had one on Twitter. I was like, oh shit, I have one of those. I know what this is. I felt like we were like the only podcast at the time that was like, it's this. I was like holding up to the screen. I was like, this is what it's going to be.
Do you remember that stupid mock-up with like, it was just the screen?
Oval?
It was like,
that totally, I'm not going to lie to you. That totally got me.
Did it?
Not necessarily that I thought it was real, but like I thought it could be real. Because like when they started clicking in the screens and the button and hang on, I know that this is like a meme now, different internet, right? Different time. I feel like now I don't trust anything I see on the internet.
It was.
I need 10 corroborating that. I'll own it because it was very well done. Yeah,
very widely circulated too. You saw,
and there was like a patent. I believe there was a patent that supported that device. They would like. I remember there was a patent for Nintendo to have a handheld that had triggers that you could like dial, like you could rotate them and then click in on them. So like you could rotate it to like, I guess like a different setting or a different button was something that they were thinking about. And then when you saw that device and it had like the click in thumbsticks, you could change the buttons and the mechanics for the thumbsticks. Like I remember that leak because Rebecca would have hated it, but on Nintendo Shack, we did probably 2 hours on that leak. We probably did a whole show about that.
Well, I think they based on that patent, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's why I was like, maybe this is it. Yeah, and I'll never. When they actually did announce it, we got like I think maybe just like that first teaser trailer, or not even the trailer, maybe the first teaser. We did a show for like 2.5 hours on literally like it was like 30 seconds of.
Yeah. the one with the big dog. The Great Dane.
I don't remember, but I remember Kevin mocking me or making fun of me for how long of a podcast we did over this very little segment. But yeah, we were all in. All in. What a time.
Yeah.
What a time. Happy 7 years, Nintendo Switch. We might even get an 8th anniversary before the next
we might.
console. We will talk about it. We have quite a bit of news this week with the Switch 2. We had a Pokemon Presents, other fun things that we will talk about. Yeah, well, listen, we'll talk about it. Before we dive into that, tell us what you've been playing, Donnie.
Well, I'm playing a game for review that doesn't come out until Wednesday, so I'll talk about it on PSVG, but I am playing on Switch, having a good time. I've played a little bit Mario vs. Donkey Kong, but I have to own a mistake from last week. Because I knew I was wrong on the podcast. I'm not sure if you guys remember. We were talking about Contra, and I had played the demo for Contra. It was Operation Galuga, I think is what it's called.
That's correct.
And I was like, it reminds me of like these cheap looking games. And if I recall exactly, I was thinking of the Ghosts and Goblins remake. That was not like super great and has like that cheap kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like that modern mobile kind of look. That's what I was thinking of when I was talking about the Contra thing. That was reminding me of like a remake in that kind of fashion. And I just wanted to own that one because I was like, I was just way off and just rambling. That's just wrong.
Well, since you brought it up, let me say it real quick. Because this is what I played. I played the Contra demo.
Very good.
Don't fucking like it.
Oh,
it's bold and shoe ugly. It plays like Contra. It looks like Contra. There are elements of it I like.
Do you feel like it was kind of jerky?
Yeah, kind of feels jerky.
Like it plays like Contra, like in the sense that you look like you're doing Contra things, but it doesn't feel like Contra.
Yeah, the character models kind of suck. Like the
Yeah.
cutscenes, they look good, but then on screen, like, ugh. It's kind of like because I feel like there's like two versions of Way Forward in terms of like aesthetics. They have these like real cool aesthetics, and then they have these really like it's usually with like 3D games they look really bad, and this falls in line with that. Like, oh, this is not good looking. I kind of like the idea of it. Kind of feels like a Rambo type story, like an exaggerated Rambo type story, and I kind of dig that for Contra, but everything just kind of seems off. Like Wish made Contra, like Temu Contra, like even
Temu Contra.
Like,
I feel vindicated because I expected to come talk about this, played it, and I was like, oh, Delvin's not gonna like this because I played it. I was like, this is not good.
I didn't like
it. It really is. Bummer.
Is the game
what else
out?
You playing? No, it's on this month. We have a list for it. It comes out on the 12th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, but that's not for this show.
Did you finish
Remake
Banishers?
or Rebirth?
Rebirth.
Did you finish Banishers?
I'm still playing Banishers too. I'm playing.
But you didn't finish it though.
No, not yet.
See, that was just 4 days ago. He was like, "I'm going to finish Banishers before we play Final Fantasy."
Well, I'm going to be playing both. I'm going to be playing both of them at the same time.
That still doesn't make it.
And that's going to be a nightmare.
I told you not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
I heard it's very good, Delvin. Are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying both games.
Okay.
Like Banishers is great.
I haven't got back to Banishers. Like it, Banishers is tough. Like I only want to play it when I have a lot of time to play, and right now I don't. But I also have like 7 other games that feel like more convenient to play right now than Banishers.
That makes sense.
Like I don't have a lot of time, so like if I've got 30 minutes, I'd rather like crank out some Mario vs. Donkey Kong for 30 minutes than try to play Banishers for just 30 minutes.
Yeah, because Banishers has this like each thing is like a story arc, and you kind of want to get to that story
it's
arc.
Like I only want to play it if I have 3 hours to play it. If it's less than that, I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of struggling with it.
But yeah, you can go ahead and continue what you're playing, Donnie.
Oh, that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. What about you, Rebecca?
I am back on my 3DS shit.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll love it though. Because of the Pokemon Presents, the big announcement that we'll talk about, I am replaying Pokemon X.
Yeah.
I really loved that game when I played it for the first time. Like that was the reason why I bought why I bought my 3DS. I bought it on Pokemon X and Y Day. I got a refurbished Nintendo 3DS and Pokemon X. And I don't think I've replayed it since my first playthrough, so I'm going back and replaying it, and I am playing it alongside Josh. We pick different starters. We're going to go one gym at a time and battle each other after every gym badge. And I want to try to pick different Pokemon than I picked the first time, and really just like remember everything about Kalos for the upcoming new Pokemon game next year.
Well, then the Presents was successful. They got her.
They did. They did get me. We'll talk about it. But
very good.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. I forgot to do my golf. I'm sorry.
I know. I was just about to say you did not post your round, and neither did Delvin. And here's the thing: nobody did. So now I'm on the ropes as to whether or not we do one more.
No, do the last one. Do the last one.
Because like nobody played. We had 4. Congrats to Hobik. Hobik won at 8 under par, but only 4 of us posted rounds, and I was like, "There's just one more left. I guess
this
I should."
This is the last one. I'm definitely gonna.
But I'm thinking like maybe I just shouldn't. If like nobody's
no,
gonna play.
do it. I'm like actually no. This is the one. I
All
promise.
right, we have one more. It'll be my birthday, Mario Day. I'll open it up on Mario Day and we'll let it run. Still 9 holes. Do you have Do you have a course preference, Rebecca? Do you want to play with items on or items off?
I don't.
Do you want traditional golf or do you want Mario Golf?
I don't really know enough about the game to make that decision.
You know what? To sweeten the pot for people to play, I'll do this. Whoever wins, I will get a $20 eShop card.
Yo, now we're playing for prizes.
You're playing for prizes now.
You have no idea. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Jason's gonna win. Because let me tell you something. He'll sit there and here's the thing. This is how when we were very competitive at Mario Golf, this is how we used to do it. We would literally play, and if we didn't like birdie every hole, we'd just restart. We just and we'd end up playing like I don't know, like ridiculous, like 30 rounds to post a score. I haven't done that in a long time, but for $20, I bet Jason does.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll tell me we're wrong, but
I bet you that there are listeners right now who are pretty good at the game that want to enter and try.
I will tell you this last round, even though there was only a couple of us that posted, all of our scores were right next to each other. So it was very competitive. It was like 8-7-6. I was like, wow, look here. Like people have moved up in the world. They've risen their game. So the last one would be a good one.
Let's make it a good one. So I'll buy the card today, and I'll send Donnie a picture of the card. So whoever wins, he can just send him that picture of it.
That picture's never going to get sent out.
Donnie might use it before that happens.
What picture?
No, Delvin never sent it. I was waiting.
Kept waiting. I don't know. I'll DM. I'll ask him. Don't worry about it. Don't you ask him. I'll ask him.
Let's jump into the news. We're starting off the news by saying a pretty definitive leak suggesting that the Switch 2 has been internally delayed to 2025. It could slip even further. The reasoning behind this is apparently to ensure that the Switch 2 console stock will also be more readily available. I feel like it's probably a mix of that and also having certain games ready for it.
Yeah, and that was the first report we got, was that they wanted to have a launch game, and I'm now thinking maybe not so much a launch day game, but like first year games. I think that's something that really got the Switch going. Was Breath of the Wild definitely certainly helped, but it was also like a steady flow of games in that first year really got it going. I'm wondering if that's maybe where Nintendo's trying to get to, where they have a game every 3 or 4 months that's bang, bang, bang. So they have all year long kind of this hype cycle to get people going.
The next Pokemon game,
Metroid,
that's coming. Metroid,
Art,
probably
Mario.
Yeah, Mario.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let me ask you both a question. Is it me, or does it seem like every time a company says we're going to make sure we have enough in stock, so we're going to delay it a little longer, they never have enough in stock?
No, because like I feel like
it depends on the demand.
Yeah. The demand, and also they don't want it to be like so readily available that people think that like nobody wants it. Like they want a little bit of like, oh my God, I got to get this product.
100%, but it really depends on demand. We talked about the Switch and how it was hard to get. Dude, I remember walking up to the Wii U and being the only person there. There wasn't a soul in sight when I bought my Wii U, but it is about demand. You can't make 100 million of them in 6 months.
Yeah,
right. You
I
can
told
only
you my
make so
Wii U
many.
story, right?
If you did, I don't recall it.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on buying a Wii U, and when it came out, I just happened to be at the mall with my wife at the time, and they had stacks of Wii U's just sitting there at GameStop, like right in front of GameStop, and I'm like, oh, the kids would probably want this for Christmas. I should buy it. Like, let me see if they have it in stock. And I said, hey, y'all got any Wii U stock? Yeah, sure. We have plenty of in stock. You want a Wii U? Like,
take 5.
I'm like,
buy one, get one.
I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And that day, I just walked randomly into a mall and just bought it because they had so many in stock. Just gave it to them for kids for Christmas. I think I bought 2 now that I think about it. I think I bought one for me, and I bought one for the kids now that I think about it.
I like GameStop just overshot the demand. Remember, my first console that I bought with my own money was the Wii. And having ridden that ride the whole time when the Wii was announced coming out, I was like, here we go again. Like, it's going to be the Wii. And I remember I kept my daughter out of school. We went and got Waffle House. I went and parked at the GameStop like an hour early thinking we were going to have to get in line. There was nobody there. There was nobody there. They opened the doors early for us. Like, they raised it. They're like, Donnie, you here for the Wii? I was like, yeah. They're like, just come on in. Just come get it. There was nobody. It was like the most underwhelming. Yeah. And then the Switch rolls around and it swings right back the other way. Yeah. So it's just about the demand. If there's a big game that people really want, and like, I feel like the Switch 2, there will be not as much demand for the Switch, but there will be a lot of demand for it out the gate. It'll be tough, I think.
My dad got me the Wii U for Christmas, not the year it released. I think it was the year after. And I was like, Dad, like, I don't really need this. There's not any like game that I need to play on it yet. And he was like, no, we'll have it for the next Zelda. You know, when they're coming out with a new Zelda game, we'll have it. We won't need to try to get it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You can play right now Batman Arkham City Armored Edition.
That was good.
It was good. It
That one
good.
was really good. Hey, wait a damn minute. Okay. That game was great.
And what was it? Mass Effect 3 was on there.
That was not so good.
Wow.
The other one was what's that word? Scribblenauts.
Scribblenauts.
Scribblenauts was not great.
I
Yeah.
had so many Scribblenauts games.
I ended up getting Nintendo Land and Wind Waker HD and taking them back to college with me.
Yeah. Those are great. We got Super Mario Bros. U, Nintendo Land. My daughter loved Nintendo Land. We played so much SingStar and Just Dance on that damn thing. Or Let's Sing or whatever the hell it was called. The singing game with the microphone. We did all that. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll continue to talk about this every week for the rest of the year, guys.
You know what's funny? Just to recap, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 6 weeks ago. Nate the Hate was like, they're showing it in March. Everybody get ready. Because this whole time leading into it, I was just like, yeah, I think they're going to announce it this summer. And then it'll come out, like this fall or next year. And
I mean,
and he was
still
like, March.
could. We don't
March.
know.
It's true. March. He's like, let's do this March. And then it wasn't 2 weeks later that everything, it's completely not March. It's next year.
Who was the person that asked us, should I upgrade to a Switch OLED or should I wait?
Yeah. Get the OLED.
Yeah.
By the time the Switch 2 comes out, you'll be able to afford another one. Just get the OLED.
Yeah, just get over.
We had a Pokemon Presents this past week. It was like about 15 minutes long, maybe, not
Sure.
even.
Yeah.
They announced a bunch of junk, and then the final announcement. So they were teasing. A bunch of leakers were saying that there was going to be something Unova, there was going to be something Johto.
That's true.
Throughout the whole presentation, they had Johto references. Like they had a bunch of Unknown. They had the Johto legendaries at one point, and it all led up to a new game in Kalos. They announced a new Pokemon Legends game, ZA. It's like Z-A. And
Is
it's
it
not coming
ZA
this
or is
year.
it ZA?
I think it's ZA because I think it's
Okay.
like a play on like the character AZ in
Hmm.
X and Y.
Rapper?
AZ.
AZ, big rapper.
Yeah.
Yep.
AZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Life's a bitch and then you die.
And
exciting.
it'll probably have something to do with Zygarde too. Remember how everybody after X and Y, there were so many holes in the plot, and we needed a Pokemon Z to kind of bring
Zelda?
everything together. Everybody was like, "Where's Pokemon Z? Where's Pokemon Z?" And it never came. They came
I
out
do
with
remember
Sun and Moon
that.
after that.
I do remember that. Yeah.
So this is we don't really know much about it besides that it is taking place entirely within the city of Lumiose. Whatever that means. I think
These
it
all
might be
sound
kind of
made-up
like
names. Just 100% made up.
Yes.
I
It-
posted a tweet. It's a dumb tweet, but I'm not that I believe it, but I did post a tweet. It was I think it was from Centro, if I had to recall, but I'm not sure. It was one of the Pokemon sites talking
Yeah.
about how this is going to be Pokemon's Cyberpunk or Grand Theft Auto, and I just died laughing. It's just
Okay.
why would you ever invoke anything like that?
What do they mean by that? Do they mean it's
Don't
gonna come
do
out
that.
broken
Because
at
it's
first
gonna be
and then they're gonna
urban.
eventually fix it?
I think people are leaning too much into that it's going to be an urban type of game. When they say entirely in Lumiose, I don't think that's what it means. I think that's going to be the hub world, kind of like how that little town was in Legends Arceus, and then you can go out on expeditions. I don't think you're going to be entirely just within the city limits.
And it's like the Legends thing was it went back in time, right? So it could just
Yes.
be like that, but it's like a village then, and it's not the
Maybe,
city that you.
yeah.
I don't know. I was not excited for this. I did not get because there was nothing to really get excited about. It was like a title screen and a logo.
I'm excited for it because I liked Legends Arceus, and this is one of my favorite regions besides Johto. Anything to show, it makes me wonder if
agree
it's
with
still in the early stages.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just don't have
that's
a
my
whole lot.
fear.
Yep.
The
I
other
just
kind of
want this
cool
to be good.
things. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and I think that's why I'm not excited about a title screen because I've totally been excited about title screens before, but it's for games that I've been long awaiting or from developers and I'm really excited for, and I just don't have it right now with the Pokemon series. They gotta will me back with a hell of a lot more than a logo. It's
Yeah.
no, I need to see something from you guys
Yeah.
before I get excited. But I'm happy for those that are for sure.
Well,
Jack
I-
was. If it's any
I feel-
consolation, Jack was excited.
Yeah, I feel good about being excited for it because Legends Arceus was like pretty good, and I think they'll hopefully build on that and like kind of iron out any problems that it had and add some things, make it even better.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Other interesting announcements, they announced a new Pokemon trading card game for
The
the
most exciting
phone.
thing
It's
for
like
me
a
in the whole thing.
digital. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. Do you want to talk about a little bit what it is?
Sure. I mean, it's a new Pokemon trading card game app, and I'm excited for that because I don't particularly like the card game app that they have now. I've played it both on my PC and on my iPad.
I
Jack and I
never
have
was
played it.
one.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's got like the scholastic cartoon art style, and it's not like my favorite, and it's kind of buggy as hell. Like it just kind of jank. And I'm hoping that this is much better. I do love that you can like scan your cards, and then they do like digital animations and transformations and stuff. That seems really cool. Seems like a way like an AR type of game. Kind of made me think, and I'm not to go crazy off the how cool would this something like this be in VR? Like if you
That
were
would be cool.
playing, yeah, like if you were playing your cards, it
Just
kind of
see
like
it in
that
front of
Star
you.
Wars thing where you put the card down and like a little character jumps up, and like an AR version of a Pokemon card game sounds dope.
That does sound
Um,
cool.
and that's kind of like what they're doing. Like they're kind of messing with something like that here. And I'm here to try it. I am very excited about my Pokemon card. So yeah.
I think I'll try it because they say that you will get 2 free packs a day or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's how
I
they're
don't
gonna
care about the game. I just want to collect the cool cards.
well, I mean, that's how they're gonna get you, right? That's how they're gonna get everybody to transition to it. That's how they're gonna get you is give some stuff away, make sure you open it every day, and then they'll slowly work those transactions in.
I feel like they'll do things like, for a limited time, a rare holographic Charizard
100%.
card, but you only have 7 days to pull it. And if you don't
Yep.
get it in your free cards, you're going to want extra chances.
Yep, all new. Think about it. Every time they have a new game or something, there'll be a tie-in with this moving forward. Just like Nintendo's done with their like Fire Emblem and things like that. I
Mhm.
expect all that'll be here too.
Yeah.
But pretty good.
I don't really want to talk about the rest of the stuff.
I'm with you. Like,
Can
yeah,
we skip
Pokemon
it?
Go, Cafe Remix, Pokemon Sleep, like whatever. Who cares?
Sorry if you care
Just
about that,
yet.
listeners. I'm moving on.
Before we move on, I wanted to address something here. We had I can't see in the chat. And he said I wanted to get on my soapbox here. Can we just stop following leaks and rumors? You can. We're not going to. I think it's fun to talk about. If you've never listened to the show, like it's fun to talk about. Here's the thing, because this does come up from time to time. I feel like it's a natural part of the hype cycle, right? You
It
get
is.
excited, you get let down, you get mad, and you start, pointing fingers at everything that got you excited in the first place. Just don't take it too seriously. I never do. That's why I freely talk about it, because I never take it too seriously. If it comes true, it comes true. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's still fun to talk about, and that's what we do here. It's a podcast.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
as long as you're not like actively getting let down if a leak doesn't come true,
There
like
it is.
Nintendo never promised you these leaks.
And expect the
Like,
worst. That's why we make fun of all the time. That's why we're making
Yeah.
fun of Arceus. Expect the worst.
Yeah.
Like get excited, but expect the worst. And then you always land somewhere in the middle. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
also
think,
it's video games.
if
come
you
on.
think video game leaks are bad, you should see how people react with movie leaks. They are far more worse than this. Like they'll show set photos and things like that. They get
They show the
really
whole
into
damn
it.
thing in the
They show
trailer.
the
Like
whole
here's the whole
thing, and
movie.
yeah, I've seen, because I used to report on movies and stuff like that as well. I used to do movie reviews and all that type of stuff. And the things that were getting leaked were insane, and the way people would talk about it. So, video game leaks don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Not in
And I just I know Sean, for years has talked about how they don't do leaks, and there are podcasts that feel that way, and we're just not. We've never going to do that. I'm not gonna stop.
Nintendo is after Yuzu, the creators of popular Switch emulator, are being sued. Like
Uh huh.
like
they come.
nuke dropping on them.
Releasing
Nintendo
ninjas.
says that their tech illegally circumvents Nintendo's software encryption and facilitates piracy. They're seeking damages for alleged violations and a shutdown of the emulator. So they usually don't care about emulators. This one, though, they're saying that 1 million copies of Tears of the Kingdom were downloaded prior to the game's release. Oops.
Ooh.
And Patreon support doubled during that time. They argue that this is proof that Yuzu's business model helps piracy flourish.
And there's the problem with it. The Patreon support part. The fact
That's
Yes.
exactly it.
Patreon is the thing that's gonna.
Isn't their Patreon like really, really like it's like 20 grand or something? Like it's insane.
That is insane.
make
I
real money.
also though feel like that's obviously a big part of it. The other part of it is like 1 million downloads before the game's release is like
Never said that about a game that just came out or a game
No,
that you can
no,
currently
no,
buy.
no.
Yeah, we never say about a game you can currently buy.
yeah, do not
So,
we-
It's the
advocate
money.
for that.
It's the money.
Yeah.
And I don't say like I'm on Nintendo's side here, but like I get it. It's the money. They're coming after the money. I don't necessarily think it's the emulator. It's the money.
Yeah.
Because you
they're
gotta
gonna profit off of it.
you gotta nip that in the bud at some point. These people are making money off of your IP, and if you allow that to happen, it sets a precedent that can be referred to. So they just can't allow it to happen. They're gonna check it.
Million's a lot.
I saw on Twitter that they were saying that it wasn't Yuzu though, that it was another Switch thing that did the Tears of the Kingdom one. I don't know. I'm not in
know
that.
either.
I don't follow
It's-
enough of
There's
that
probably
stuff.
quite a few of them doing it, but they got to make an example out of somebody.
Yeah, and it's the money. These
Yeah.
people are getting like 20 grand a month to do this. Like that's it. It's the
Maybe
money.
they were the ones that that created like the encryption circumvention.
Yeah, that's also a part of it. Yep, can't do that.
Yeah, that's more
So-
that's more than just regular emulation, I feel like.
I know that I think in the article that I pulled this from, I think they said that Yuzu was lawyering up and expected to fight this battle, which makes me think that this won't go on and that Nintendo will just drag it out and bleed them dry. Like
Exactly.
you can say you want to fight them. That doesn't mean you're going to fight them next month. Nintendo's, billions. They've got no problems just spending millions of dollars. Just, okay, we'll see you in 3 years and we'll hit you with an injunction every 2 weeks until then and
Yeah.
a stay and and they'll just keep doing it. Yeah, that's it's almost admirable to be like, no, we're going to fight them. But like, it's not, I don't think that's smart.
Yeah.
No, you need to stop whatever you're doing that thinks you puts you in the crosshairs, so you don't go bankrupt from legal fees.
Yeah, it seems like this might be their livelihood, though. So I think they probably have no choice.
Yeah, but it's not going to be for very
It's not-
long if they
It's not going
try
to end
to-
well.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, let's say they're making 20, 25 grand a month. Let's say they've been doing that for 4 years. Let's say on top of that, they all have like separate jobs or whatever. Let's roll it all up together and say they're worth collectively $1 million. Let's give them that, right? That's nothing for Nintendo.
Nothing.
And it's nothing for legal fees. That can go away in an instant. Like it just doesn't seem financially prudent. It's just not very smart. Yeah.
I'm curious. Is this the only thing? Is this what they're known for? Is this the one that
I don't know. That I don't know.
Yuzu?
Yeah, Yuzu.
I would imagine so, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't use Yuzu. I've never used it, so
Yeah.
I've never needed to. I've never wanted to. I think one time Garrett tried to get me to do Breath of the Wild on PC because I wanted to. I was like, I see these videos. I want to play it like 60 FPS and the shader recompiling and everything was a mess. And I was like, oh, never mind. Which is where I typically land on emulation. If it's not easy and done well, I don't want it. If it's like, well, you got to get this plugin and download this hack and get to GitHub. I'm like, no, just F this. I'll just play it at 28 FPS, like the way it was intended to be played. So I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
That is what they do. It's just the emulator.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, then that's their business.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they've got a case. I don't know. Like maybe they'll fight and win. Who knows? I think you fight Nintendo and win. I don't think you're going to get your day in court. Lawyer, you wouldn't even go to court for them. You'd be like, no, we're not going to go to court. We're just going to see how much money they can spend.
Yeah, and keep them spending.
And like if you're Yuzu, you just don't have enough.
You also can't go 5 minutes without announcing a new Splatfest, which is why at the end of March, the last weekend, it will be guitar versus drums versus keyboard. For which instrument do you like the best?
That's better than the last one.
It is.
This is actually not a bad one. I
an
think this
improvement.
is one of the better ones that they've had in a while.
Yeah.
What team would you go,
Drums.
Delvin?
It's a shame there's no bass, but for here, drums.
I kind of dig keyboards.
Yeah?
I
On
would
the
pick
keys?
keyboard because I played the piano for like 12 years.
Yeah, I get it. Nothing wrong with pianos. Nothing wrong with some keys. Get a little synth going. It's good stuff too. But the drums, man, the drums. I mean, you guys. I'm a rock fan. Like, drums are the foundation of like every song.
Yeah,
The rhythm
I like
section.
drums. I'm just not good at drums.
Yeah,
I
sure.
play little keys.
Yeah, nice. You and Rebecca both.
That'll be PAX East weekend, so I probably won't get to play much anyway.
Oh, bummer. How are you still digging the DLC?
The side order?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not gonna 100% it, but I could find myself doing like I feel like a one run is like a good amount of playtime. Like it's just under an hour in some cases. Like it's
Nice.
a good kind of just before you go to bed type of game.
Good.
Yeah. Some March highlights. We just saw Star Wars Dark Forces, Runner 2. Did they just release?
Yep.
I just bought it, too.
Expeditions, a Mud Runner game.
People are excited about that game. I got good reviews. Like, yeah, people. I got to try one of these. There was the Snow Runner, and now there's Mud Runner. I got to try one of these things because people like it. Runner 2 is a surprise. I'm not sure if you like. They just announced like, hey, we're bringing Runner 2 from the Wii U over.
Yeah,
I was like, this is awesome. Yeah, I love that game.
In March because I remember it got delayed. Oh,
It's
my
up for
God.
pre-order now. You can pre-order it
Okay,
right now.
immediately doing it. Download. I'm gonna do it.
Mhm. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. Unicorn Overload is coming out the 8th.
Overlord.
Overlord. What did I say?
Isn't it Lord?
Lord? What did I say?
Now you got me questioning. Overload.
Overlord. No, it's Overlord.
Okay. And you had me questioning. I'm like, uh-oh, am I wrong?
Top Gear is the 7th, March 7th.
Correct.
4 days.
Correct.
I saw there was a lot of discourse online regarding Unicorn Overlord.
good.
And the translation, like the localization. It was like the discourse was regarding whether localization should be like a 1-to-1 translation or if it should be modified for the language's audience.
Huh.
I would imagine be modified for the context is a part of translation.
Yes.
If you translate it 1-to-1, it's going to be like a Google Translate. It's not going to read correctly. You know, like that's the thing when you translate, you miss context because different languages have different cadences and different arrangements of their words.
Because they're saying that the English translation is like has a lot more kind of like flowery language, a lot more like medieval type of speaking, whereas the Japanese like original dialogue is like very short sentences, you know, very straight to the point, very blunt. And people are saying like that the you know these localizers added so much of their own voice to it, like it's not how the original developers intended it. But then
they're the developers, though. They are the developers.
Yeah,
it wasn't like ported, right?
No,
right. So
yeah, it's who they hired.
They're the developers.
Yeah.
It's their developers.
Yeah, it's not like I feel like people think of like localizers as like these like evil people who steal the game in the middle of the night and make it the way they want it to
we don't
be.
like this.
We're gonna rewrite it, not like
man, it's their
hired
people.
as a job
their
that
employees.
is like approved.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about all that.
I don't think people understand what it takes to be like to localize things and how certain cultures translate very differently to certain aspects of it. Like whether it's English, Spanish, Japanese, certain things mean very different things in different cultures. Like for example, me having my kids are part Spanish. A popular thing to call darker people in Spanish, not necessarily black people, negrito. So me, when I first got this was years ago. When I first got in this relationship, they was calling me, "Hey, negrito." I'm like, "Whoa, what are you?" Like,
wait a minute.
Like, whoa, what is this? And then they explained, like, no, that's not what that means. Like,
context is important for like language context.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying. Like even the arrangements in like certain languages, how they hide on gender or where they put the verb in relation to the subject and the noun, like it's all different. Right. So you have to be able to translate not just the word and its meaning, but its place and time in the sentence and the thought it's trying to convey. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Important.
I was saying how if everything was just translated 1-to-1, like games like Animal Crossing would be terribly boring games
Yes.
because of all of the puns that they use, like just wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
in English, and like they do.
And I actually, even if it was, let's just say it was changed, I have no problem if a game is being adapted to appeal to different cultures. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see, like, if I was running a video game, they're like, hey, let's change this over here to make this appeal a little bit more to folks in Japan, and maybe a little bit more to folks in the States, a little bit more to the folks in Europe. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. Let's sell more games.
Some people are purists about it.
Man, you take these things a little bit too serious sometimes. I enjoyed the game. Play it. Everybody go get Unicorn Overlord. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and also, when you get a bad localization, it messes up the game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like when I played the demo, I had no problems with the writing, but I also wasn't studying that deep.
Sea of Stars. I just pre-ordered Top Gear, by the way.
Nice. Yes.
The 12th. Oh, that comes up on the 8th, by the way. On the 12th, Contra Operation Galuga.
Keep it.
Galuga. Skip it.
Sounds like
Could
a
be
whale.
Galuga. Yeah.
Like a beluga whale. The 14th, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.
I think I'm day one on this. I think I'm all in now. Like I'm seems pretty awesome. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but the idea of having like a massive multiplayer shooter on Switch sounds pretty. It does, right? It's like, yeah, this is great. And it's like a really weird space. Not weird. It's a unique space that I think Switch can live in, right? Like it doesn't get Warzone. It hasn't Battlefield 2042, 1,000 players, all that, but it doesn't need it because you can just release like multiplayer GoldenEye and everybody just play that instead, and it's like, this is kind of that. Like if they were to release like Call of Duty 2 on Switch, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sure, let's go kick it old school, and Jack is a big part of it's Jack. Jack's really excited, but I think his excitement is enough that I'm like, yeah, let's just get it and play and see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems fun and it's cheap. It's like $30. It's not too bad. Snurts, I think, won me over. Snurts says the campaigns are good, so I can even get some solo play out of it. Yeah, I think I'm all in. That's surprising because I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I think I'm all in.
Yeah, and it's I remember when I was used to playing a lot of them. There's something about when you see on screen Vader has entered the battle. You're like, oh shit, he's just out here, murdering everybody because he's like overpowered,
just slicing and dicing. Yeah, it seems fun.
It's kind of fun.
Guilt is also coming out the same day. GYLT.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ain't got no.
On the 15th, Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition.
Kingdom Come Deliverance is a good game.
I'd be interested in watching somebody play that on Twitch or something. I want to see what that looks like. We'll see.
Yeah.
MLB The Show 24 comes out on the 19th.
Yeah.
I forgot this comes out on Switch now. I completely forgot.
Still happening.
Yeah.
Is that any good on Switch?
No.
I'm not going to find out. Absolutely not.
That's all right. We got Super Nintendo. He's been the canary in the coal mine for this. But I remember, last year, the year before, he was like sharing his footage of the show on Switch, and I was like, oof. Yeah, get RBI baseball. Like get Power Pros. Do something else.
Don't get RBI baseball.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's how bad the show looked. Now maybe they've got it better. Maybe it's gotten better, but it did not look good.
22nd is Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah, let's go.
Legend of Legacy Remastered.
Previews came out for it. They seemed, I wouldn't say abundantly positive, but like unanimously like good. Like people are like, this is good. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like, I think my biggest takeaway from the two previews that I read is it does seem like it's very, very aimed at children. So just know that, like when you get into it, that's what more people kept saying. Like it's really a game. Stupid. It's a game for the kids. Yeah. That you can also play, but it's for the kids.
Fuck them kids.
Why did they have to dumb down the Peach games?
Well, they did the same thing for like Detective Pikachu and stuff.
Yeah. The
I don't
cats.
think so.
It's
She's a lady.
sexist, Donnie. I don't care.
Peach is a
Uh-oh.
lady. She has feelings. She cries and stuff.
So costumes.
And that's her powers.
Well, it's funny
Who
that
did they
we're like,
think all the little girls that want to play this game aren't good at games?
I don't think so. I think they just want to try and make it more
Donnie,
approachable to
Donnie, don't
little
go down
girls,
this
little
path.
kids.
That's
Don't
what
go down this path,
Yoshi
Donnie.
and Kirby are for.
I wouldn't be surprised if the
Donnie.
Nintendo was looking at Peach just like that. Like,
Donnie,
like she could
abort.
be Yoshi and Kirby.
Abort mission, Donnie.
Why would it be though?
I'm just saying that's what I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to appeal to a new demographic.
Abort mission, Donnie.
New
No,
demographic.
absolutely not. I'm here for the smoke.
I'm just saying they had a chance to make another badass, really intense game like Metroid.
Is that what you want? Princess Peach badass Metroid game? That makes no sense to me
Yes.
at all.
She want
It
Peach
makes
with the Glock,
perfect sense.
pulling out the
Right.
9mm blasting Bowser.
Yeah,
in
she
the
wants Arn Anderson the Peach game. Like what? It's not Max Payne, Rebecca. It's
I would
Princess
play that.
Peach.
I would play it.
Well, you need Perfect Dark. This isn't the woman you're looking for. You're looking for Joanna, not Peach. We
That's
have
not a
those ladies.
Nintendo IP. I want.
I
more
can't help.
Nintendo
It
IP.
probably will be soon if the way the Xbox and Rare is going. Give it a minute.
There you go. Peach
She's
in Mortal
on the way.
Kombat.
She's on the way. Joanna's coming soon. Let Phil Spencer cook.
South Park Snow Day comes out the 26th. Okay.
I was interested till they said it's multiplayer only. Never mind.
Hang on. I watched a video for this. I'm not sold on it. So don't take this the wrong way, but I am just going to give you something to think about. I'm still holding pattern because I have yet to see real gameplay. There's gameplay trailers, but I want to see somebody boot up that game and play it for 10 minutes, and I have yet to see it.
Interesting.
Okay.
But they say you can play it solo.
Okay.
Now it is multiplayer based. I don't think there's a campaign. So that's something. But here's the other side of it. It's only $30.
That's cheap. That's a good price.
It's not a $60 game either.
That's a lot considering you haven't seen gameplay footage yet.
Well, there's gameplay trailers. We've seen gameplay of them running around fighting each other, and it's got South Park puns and stuff. It looks dumb. Trying to sell it to anybody because I'm very much on the fence. Even if it's good, if it reviews well, I'll probably still wait for a sale. But it's just something to think about.
And to South Park's credit, their games are usually good.
Pretty good.
They're
Yeah.
usually pretty good. So I think this one will probably at least be decent.
Yeah, Rebecca Yarden says play Bayonetta.
I don't
That's
like that
that's
genre.
what she wants. She wants Peach the Bayonetta game,
I don't.
trolling around and kicking the shit out of Bowser.
Whatever.
Just steps on him with her heels.
Bowser probably would like that.
Say my name.
28th Pepper Grinder, Felix the Cat Collection, Open Roads.
It's a lot of good games for Switch this month. Really, and and a lot of them for 1 month. That's there's kind of something in here probably for everyone.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
That Felix
so
the Cat
that's a pretty
game
good month.
Is it was the NES game. They just brought the Switch essentially. But here you go, Felix the Cat.
Yeah. Do you like those games? Have you played those?
I've never played those. It's supposed to be a fun platformer though. So
No, Mike liked them. I loved Felix the Cat as a kid. I
do
loved
too.
the
I did
cartoon.
too. Yeah.
So I might get that just for nostalgia's sake. Dude, speaking of nostalgia's sake, sorry, I could have brought this up earlier. I'm gonna throw another. Well, we're in the middle of a story here. I bought Nickelodeon Kart Racer because
Oh!
it's on sale.
one
How
did
is
you buy?
it?
Have you? There's 1,000 games on sale right now on Switch. Did you guys see any of the screenshots I posted Discord?
I did
No.
not.
There's a Call of Duty. There's a multiplayer shooting game called Call of Honor, Duty of Warfare. It's the most absurd mock. It's $2. I almost bought it. I almost bought it just for the audacity. I was I want to throw these guys $2 just for calling their game.
Is that like that the eShop a couple months ago had that Last of Us kind of knockoff where it was
that's what it looks like. I would have bought it, but essentially it looks like a 4-player multiplayer shooting game. That's it.
Oh.
There's nothing else to it. If there was a campaign, if there was a solo missions, I'd be like, I'll give you $2. I want to see what this is about. But I was just scrolling the eShop because I just wanted to buy something. Sometimes I just get that way and I'm like, well, what's on sale? And I came across the Kart Racer. So I pull up my phone, I look up a YouTube review, and I just landed on, this is just luck. somebody was like, it reminds me a lot of the Sonic All-Stars game. And I was like, yo, I love that game. Let's buy it. So I bought it and played it. It's nothing like that at all. Like, it's just, they do ride boats, but it sucks to play. It's not very good.
Out of the Nickelodeon kart racers, the third one is pretty decent.
That's the one I bought, the third one.
That's the
It's
one
fine.
people
It's just not like controls-wise, performance-wise, it's just kind of like meh.
Yeah.
But like as a kart racer, like you can have fun, especially if you're playing like local co-op, like me and Jack pulled out the controllers and raced each other. It has voice acting, which is
Yeah.
cool. So like all the characters and like you can, play as the Rugrats. I was playing as Chucky. So like, yeah, you can run around and you get like slime and stuff. It's just kind of, it's like Wish, Timu kart game. It's
Pretty
not
much.
nothing. And it's like Game Mill. So like I knew what I was expecting. I'm glad I got it for cheap. It was like $12. So like,
It was a good
Just
It's like
like
a fif-
Nickelodeon Brawl.
they sold it for $50 though. It's like that's
Yeah,
that's
I would
robbery.
I wouldn't buy the cart for that price.
Yeah,
Nickelodeon
that's
Brawl is
robbery.
Pretty fun. I would get that for that price, but not the cart one.
But yeah, I was scrolling through things and just making fun of the eShop. But if anybody has played Call of Honor, Duty of Warfare, let us know. I'm interested. Somebody send me a clip of what it's like to play.
Dude, I've been selling my games on Facebook Marketplace. Like, people want shit like Just Dance 17.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's insane. Yeah.
got
I have
Switch
almost all
collectors.
my games sold that I wanted to sell.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Love that.
I'm getting, a decent amount for them too. So,
I have been packing up. I'm not selling anything, but I have been putting together a Switch care package because as Jack and I get ready for Switch 2, we are beginning to downsize. And I think I may have alluded to this last week, but maybe I didn't fully talk about it. I've pulled my OLED back from Jack and put it down here. I got the dock and everything, and I've moved all of his stuff to my No More Hero Switch, and then we're taking his Switch and we've wiped it and cleaned it and got everything updated, and I'm pulled like a case and extra controllers and extra games, and we're putting together a Switch care package we're going to send to our nieces and nephews
oh, that's nice.
because they kind of depend on us for new games. They've been playing the Wii U for the last 5 years because I bought them a Wii U for Christmas. Their parents never buy them games or anything. So,
Aw.
and they love Mega Man. That's like their favorite thing is Mega Man. So I bought them all the Mega Man collections,
Nice.
digital codes.
Dude, you're
they're
gonna
gonna get
make
us-
their entire year.
Yeah, they're going to get a Switch. They're getting 3 controllers, like one's wired. They're going to pair of Joy-Cons. They got a case, all that jazz, and they get all the Mega Man collections.
It's great.
Very cool.
I thought it'd be better than selling it and just do that, and then I'll just start saving for the Switch 2,
Nice.
which I already started, so I'm already kind of on my way. So
Good. Also, just we said it before, happy 7th birthday, Nintendo Switch. Jared wants to know, can you believe the Switch turned 7 this morning? How do you think the Switch will be remembered next to all the other consoles from Nintendo? He also asked, where were you 7 years ago today? We kind of already answered
yeah, I
that.
think we answered that one. I can't believe it. I posted over on Shaq Twitter pictures of my kids that morning and then what they look like now. They're
Amazing.
like different people.
They're like real grown people now.
Right. Yeah, they went from children
not
to
little
adults.
tots.
Like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
It does feel like so long ago, so much longer than 7 years. When I look back at like the pictures, the videos, the quality of them, like the time, like it just feels so long ago. And probably COVID makes it feel like, like an era ago, but it really does. 7 years isn't that long, but boy, you take me back to that day and it does feel like I'm reaching. It's a
It
long
occurred
reach to
to
get there.
me that I have first graders who were born after the Switch, first graders and kindergartners. Like,
Wow.
Yep.
it's crazy.
When I was packing up the Switch for the nieces, Jack actually mentioned that because the Switch that we're giving them is the Let's Go Switch. That was his Switch. I bought it for him. It was a surprise. I kept him home from school, and we went to Best Buy and we went to get something to eat. And I walked into Best Buy and grabbed like this bag and brought it out to him and handed it to him. And he didn't even look in the bag. He thought I was just handing him something to hold. And we got all the way home, and then he opened it and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "That's yours. It's your Switch. Happy birthday."
Wow.
Because it came
Oh my
out like
gosh.
around his birthday is November 8th. So Pokemon
Yeah.
always kind of comes around his birthday. And so we were talking about it. and he was like, "This is like my childhood." That's what he said to me last night. Like just looking at the Switch, he's like, "This is my childhood," and I was like, "Wow, that's just something else." He's just been playing on this thing for years.
That's great.
Hmm.
How do we think it'll be remembered next to all the other consoles from Nintendo?
Top 5?
5? Top 2.
Yeah.
I would say, depending on what generation, people would probably put it number 1. Like, and I think
It's a good contender for number 1.
Yeah,
I think so.
Older people like me, old goats, probably like, oh, it's the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo.
Yeah.
But then right there, they're probably like, oh, then the Switch. So like,
At this
Sure.
point, it would be hard for me to choose between the Super Nintendo and the Switch.
I would pick the Switch, but I mean, I get it.
Mhm.
When it comes to the Switch's legacy, I want to. If the Switch didn't hit, Nintendo would be in a very different place today.
yeah,
And kind of like, not that it would be like all doom and gloom, but like if the Switch didn't hit based off of where they were coming, I do wonder if they would have drastically shifted, and the Nintendo that we know today would be very different. Like in the sense, like, would they go more mobile? Would they approach more of a third party? Would they do something different, like very different? You know what I'm saying? Like an Apple TV different, like different. Because the Wii U was bad, and the 3DS, while successful, still was trailing. So you got to think about, put yourself where Nintendo was in 2014. Everything's looking bleak, and you kind of look like you're being forgotten or left behind. And then you hit with the Switch, and it's like you were right back to where you've always been. They could have never imagined or anticipated not only the sales success of the Switch, but like the way it captured a zeitgeist, the way it entered the
critically
minds
acclaimed.
of people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what separates it for me from the other consoles, especially when given the competition and the space that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
that
think-
was very different. There are people ready to write Nintendo off in 2014.
remember-
They're dead.
The conversations about, oh, Nintendo should go third party.
A
A lot
ton.
of people were saying
And
that.
not angry Twitter fans, like front page headlines from real journalists saying
Like,
It
just
was like
that.
a little embarrassing to be a Nintendo fan back then, but like, look at it
A little bit.
now.
And
Now
then
it's like,
what did they
like, they're
do?
the ones that know
They
what they're
shoved
doing.
the Switch down their faces. Like, you know, like, and it's jarring and a little maybe unprecedented to not, you know, shape it that way or not remember that about it, you know, because it's been a long time.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was listening to Mike and Jeff. You know, Mike was talking about how he's really excited. They want to do like a Switch nostalgia podcast, like a retrospective, talking about like all the games and the years and stuff. And it may be a little hard to remember that 7 years ago, or like, especially for us, 8-9 years ago, where Nintendo was versus now. You know, now it's easy to say like, oh, the Switch 2 could bomb, and they'll just do it again. They'll just come out and do something else, right? Because they did it with the Switch.
Mhm.
Right? If the Switch wasn't that, I wonder how people would think. It'd be very different.
Oh, I agree. That's it for our news this week. Why don't you hit us with some questions?
Sure. The first one comes from Kyle the Pug. If your pet were to have a Pokemon type, what type would they be? How high would their base speed be?
Their base speed.
That's Kyle.
I don't.
Kyle's doing Kyle things.
I'm just going to answer the first part of the question. Frisk would obviously be a dark type Pokemon because he is evil AF.
Okay.
Which of your 80,000 cats are you going to choose, Delvin?
I'm gonna choose my dog Buster, my little small terrier. Is there a dumb type Pokemon? Because that's what he'd be.
A dumb type?
Yes, he's
Dumb
a
type.
very,
Like is it
Normal
like,
type.
Is it like Slowpoke?
yeah, he's like Slowpoke. He's like
Aww.
Slowpoke, Psyduck. Just
Mm.
this distant stare.
I love Psyduck so much.
Aw.
Annabelle's a dark type for sure.
Yes.
Fred would be like a normal type. He's like Snorlax. He's like big and just like weighty. And he does fight. Like, usually he just lounges around, but when people pick fights with him, he just like body slams the shit out of fools. He's just and then the kittens, You guys have never really seen Doom, but the kittens are the cats we pulled out of the woods. They're old now, but we still call them the kittens. Doom is a brick house. He's the most muscular cat I've ever seen.
Fighting
He doesn't
type.
look it. He looks like he's half the size of Fred, but when you pick him up, he might be twice as heavy. So he's like, I don't know, fighting type. He's like Machop or Machoke or something. Like, dude is just a beast. Pumpkin, I don't have a good take on. Pumpkin's real clingy and real sweet, but he yells a lot. He's real loud, noisy, very vocal cat.
Okay.
Jigglypuff, something like that.
Normal
maybe?
fairy.
Yeah, fairy type. That's probably Pumpkin. Fairy type.
Yeah, I can see it.
Tyler says, "Are you more willing to give an indie game a chance at $1.99?" I'm talking about Call of Warfare, Duty of Honor, and Duty of Heroes, whatever, instead of a normal price like $20. I bought 3 I would have never bought at $1.99 each.
It's tough because I feel like, when you see an indie at $20, you have a pretty good idea that it's higher quality than a $1.99 indie.
Or that it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not going to just spend $20 and like it needs to be pretty good.
Like I obviously I would rather pay $1.99 for the same quality, but like you don't see really good indies sold for $1.99 too often.
Sure.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah, no, you nailed it. It's definitely it's a sliding scale. If I'm spending $20 on an indie game, it's either something I already know or something I'm going to look up. I don't just blindly spend $20 on things. I do blindly spend $1.99 on trash all the time, just because I just be like, yeah, let's try this. Like I remember that there's a game on Switch called called Golf. It's just golf, and it's awful. It's so bad, and I've probably bought 30 of those just because.
Wow.
I meant to ask you, Don, did you buy that golf game?
The hentai golf.
Yes.
I wanted to. I was gonna buy it, but then I looked up a review for it, and it's also awful.
Okay.
If it was half good at all, you know me, I would have totally bought it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy the hentai girls golf game. That sounds awesome. But it's really, really bad. Like the golf mechanics are awful. But like the Call of Warfare, I almost did. Like I was like, maybe it's only $2. But here's the other thing. There's like 5 of them on the eShop. The eShop is a mess, but that's another part of it. The eShop is a disaster. There is so much trash in the eShop. It's so bad. They've got to put some regulations in or something. Like there's so much mobile clone game. Like it's really not good.
The weird thing about it is the only shop that's actually pretty good is the Xbox one. The PlayStation shop's a mess too. It is really bad as well. Yeah, it's really bad.
I wonder if the Xbox shop just does a better job of hiding it.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the Switch eShop is a mess. And like if there's anything we get out of a Switch 2, I definitely want a new shop, but even more so than just the shop. Like I want the shop and your libraries to have like functions. You still can't sort by like your library by like which one you purchased recently or anything like that. You just open up like an alphabetical list of all of your games.
Can I just say something?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that we cannot at this point like buy multiple games at one time or like, select all of them on your wish list and check out at once?
It's really hard to like use the store.
Yeah, it's really hard to give you money, Nintendo. You probably should fix
or
that.
buy extra codes. Like why can't I buy extra? Like I can't buy something that I've already bought.
Why can't I gift a game to someone on my friend list? Do you know how many copies of Undertale I would spam my friends with?
Yeah. Yeah. And they have none of that. And it's like this giant database. And to load like 50,000 records into your browser and your Switch is no small task. They do an admirable job of it. They just don't give you a whole lot of tools to like navigate that freely. And then like, your whole account management and everything on the back end is just a mess. It's just a disaster back there. Yeah. And I wonder if it's just because like we're power users, maybe nobody cares, but like I care every time like we do a system migration or a transfer or anything like that. I'm just reminded of how terrible I'm like, this is the worst. It's so bad.
They should let you be able to gift anything that they sell in that shop to anyone.
Yes.
Or here's the thing. Why can't I just buy a download code?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I go grab Golf Story and I'm like, here's $6.99, and it tell you already own this game. Are you trying to buy another one? I'm like, yeah,
Mhm,
and you just give me the code that I can then send to somebody else.
Yeah.
mhm.
Look through the
There
info.
are some codes on Amazon, but only for like major games.
I think they're afraid of reselling. I think they're afraid of people buying codes when they're discounted and then trying to resell them at higher prices. I think is what they're trying to do.
I literally even asked a developer one time a couple years ago, like, hey, like, I want to buy your game for my friend for his birthday. Like, can I have a code? Like, are you able to sell me a code? And he's like, we can't like generate a code. Like, Nintendo doesn't do that.
And my thing is like, who cares? They're getting the money. Like, they're the ones that put the game on sale. Like, if you're selling the game, you're selling the game. Like, what does it matter?
Mhm.
But yeah, they're not doing that because Nintendo's still getting their 30%.
Yeah.
Whatever. G-Man, what games, anything including Nintendo, are you looking for? Are you ready to lose an hour of sleep next week? I'm never ready for that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I hate that. We should stop doing that.
Yeah.
That's next week.
Apparently, I don't know that, but apparently,
Oh,
You check.
hopefully, I get a couple days off next week around my birthday. I've worked so much overtime during this activation. My work told me to take some days off.
That's
So
good.
maybe
Rebecca.
I'll be able to catch up on that.
It's next Sunday on Mario Day / Donnie's birthday.
That's it. Well, there you go. Yeah. So I
Happy
will.
birthday.
Yay, nice for me.
Next Shaq Sunday.
Oh,
What does
yeah,
that mean
your
for the
birthday.
podcast? What day do we start?
What?
I mean,
What
like
time
what
do we-
hour? Yeah, like what hour do you say? What does that mean?
It'll be normal time. It'll just be like an hour later, but
We're
like,
gonna
it'll
show up
still
on
be
time. Rebecca's
11.
gonna show up an hour later.
Oh my god. No, I would show up an hour early if I didn't set the clock early.
I
Like
don't
this
know. I
should
know-
this should make it
I know
so
how it
that
works.
I'm available very early
Sure.
because I'm waking up an hour before I would normally be.
What games are you looking for?
Looking forward to.
I think this is looking for. Like, are you shopping for? I was taking like, what games are you trying to buy, wanting to buy?
I'm waiting for Prince of Persia to be on sale for like $10.
Solid.
15.
I think that's really good. That's gonna be the best $20 game you've ever bought.
I know. I'm waiting very
Like-
patiently. I don't need to play it right now, so
I'm rooting
good with
for
waiting.
you. The
Thank
day
you.
when it pays off, like November 11th, when that game is $19.99,
I
Rebecca's
hope
gonna be like,
I don't have to wait
"I told you."
that long. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of like
I'm trying to pull up my wish list so I can find out.
the game I was waiting for came out. It's Final Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
and now I guess Princess Peach Showtime. People
good.
say that Rise of the Ronin game is good. Oh, what's the game that I was saying, the horror game I want to play? That's the coming out this month. I can't remember the name of it. Edward Carnaby is the main character.
Oh, the Lovecraft game?
Yes,
Oh, what is that game? Oh God, what is it called?
I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
The Age of Darkness or something like that. Not like that, but I can see like the letters, but I can't make out what the game is called.
I'm looking up the character's name because I used to play the game all the time. Alone in the Dark. There you go.
Dark. Yeah, I knew it was dark. I was like, that's it. Alone in the Dark.
Yes, I'm excited. For that.
There's a few games on my wish list that I want. I just want at a better price, so I'm holding off for like a cheap deal. I want Horizon Chase 2. I want on Switch, but I don't want it for $25. I
Okay.
want it for like $10. Let's see here. Dementium, The Ward, which is a horror game from 3DS that Jules brought over to Switch. I'm also waiting on a sale for it.
I forgot.
I want that.
came out.
I want that Disney Illusion Mickey game that came out last year,
Oh yeah.
but it hasn't really gone on sale like quite yet.
Hmm.
It's gone on sale for like 40, but I'm kind of in Rebecca's boat. I want that game for like $20.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
$20 game.
Yeah. So those are kind of the things that I'm kind of looking for, hunting around, I guess. So yeah, I think that's it. A lot of these other things, I wish list a lot of games just in case they go on sale.
Me too.
But I'm not actively trying to buy them. You know, like if Batman Arkham Trilogy goes low enough, I'll probably pick it up just to have it. even though I have it on literally everything I have. But I'll do it anyway. I'll do it again. So, but that's about it. Most things I'm doing pretty good on. Jacob, will a mainline Final Fantasy game ever launch day one on a Nintendo console? I hope not. That's what I'm rooting for. It's why I like it here.
I don't see that happening.
You know what? I can see that for Switch too.
I think it would come. I think it would come to the Switch, but not day one.
I think it's possible.
As long as PlayStation keeps. Well, they are worried about those margins. Maybe they stop paying for exclusivity.
Yeah. I don't think PlayStation looks at Switch like that. They kind of look like, oh, they're doing their own thing, so I don't think they mind as much. If a mainline Final Fantasy game with the Switch, not Xbox.
I mean, they're still buying exclusivity. They buy exclusivity. Yeah. Final Fantasy is it doesn't even come to PC till later. So,
did Crisis Core come out on Switch the same day it came out on PS5?
You were asking the wrong person. I do not know. I was gonna cheat and answer, but he did say mainline Final Fantasy, because I was definitely gonna say like they'll come out with a tactics or a party game or something, and it'll come out on Switch. Theater Rhythm, like something like that. But yeah, I don't know about a mainline one. We never even got 15, right? We got the little mobile version of 15, the 15 Pocket. You guys remember that? You guys remember that? Final Fantasy Pocket? I thought that was going to be a good idea. I remember the Kevin. I was like, this is going to be a good idea. Like, they can't run it, so they get like their own. I was thinking of it like the Wii, like when the Wii would get its own versions of games. And just way wrong. That little chibi thing, I think, bombed hard. That was not a thing. Nobody liked it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think so. Gamer Guy Lou, our last question of the show. What starter trio are you hoping for in the new Pokemon Legends games we saw announced? Rebecca, I didn't play Arceus. Would they just not have the starting trio from like X and Y?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Legends Arceus had Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and chat, help me out. Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott, I think. Yeah, Oshawott. So people are saying, and they all three of those got regional variants for their final evolution. So like, Typhlosion didn't look like what you think Typhlosion looks like. Decidueye looked different, whatnot. People are saying that maybe the starters, instead of a regional variant, perhaps they could get a mega evolution. So I'm thinking they'll pick starters where the final evolution does not already have one. Like, for example, they wouldn't pick Mudkip because Swampert already has a mega evolution.
There's a lot of Mudkip in our chat.
Yeah.
Bunny,
my ideal scenario, what I would love the most, would be Sprigatito as the grass type from the most recent game.
That seems offensive.
Poplio for the water type. And you know what? I'm going to say that I would like for them to keep Fennekin as a starter from X and Y, because Fennekin's my favorite fire type starter. However, I don't think this will be the case. So
you went with is that the water dog seal thing? Is that what you went with?
Yeah.
Instead of the duck from the recent one?
Ooh, no.
Not as good as the duck one.
No. But that's not what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is probably something like stupid, like Grookey and Totodile and like Snivy or something.
Great. Get excited. This all sounds super fun. I don't like any of these things. I wish Pokemon would let you choose your starter. I don't understand why
out of all of them.
Just let me choose a starter.
They let you do that in Mystery Dungeon.
Pick one. Just let me pick my own star. I would pay money. That'd be a microtransaction I would gladly pay for. Here's $2.99. I don't want one of these three. Let me pick one. I'll pick my own. Then? Here's some money. I don't care. Just let me pick one that I like.
I would pick Fennekin.
I trade my starters so much. So I'm just like, I don't like this. I don't want to play the whole game with this thing.
If you could pick one, what would you pick? Who would you pick as like the one
Cubone.
starter? No. Out of the starters.
Oh, out of the starters. Now you're asking me a question I'm prepared for. I'd have to look at all starter Pokemon. See, I want to just pick one. All Pokemon starters by generation. Yeah, once I get to Sapphire, I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't like
Really?
any of these anymore. I really don't. Yeah. The Finnegan, Chespin, Froakie one, those are not terrible starters.
Mhm. I like the
don't
one
like
after
Owl.
that too. You don't
like
like
the
Rowlet?
Owl.
Are you serious? That's one of the best starters.
Don't like Grookey. Don't like Sobble. Scorbunny's okay. It would probably be Pikachu. As boring as it is.
That is such a boring answer.
That is
I mean, maybe like I like the original trio. Like I think they're all four of them are a boring answer. Because we've done it so much. But like I don't like any of these other ones really.
Wow.
Cyndaquil. No.
Wow.
Okay, omitting them.
Piplup?
I'm omitting them. Omitting the originals. My answer would either be like Torchic or Scorbunny, probably.
Torchic's a good one. I could see that happening.
Chimchar?
Chimchar sucks.
Well, I tried. See, I want to pick like Cubone or Growlithe. Like, let me pick one of my favorites.
Yeah, I would pick Vulpix.
You have 2,000 Pokemon. Why are we still doing it this way? This just doesn't make any sense. Why have so many if you're going to like, but you can only have one of these three that you don't like? That doesn't make, I don't get it. It should be DLC. Every game should have DLC. It should pick your starter DLC. It's like what do they call it? Like a a double XP weekend.
They don't have the resources to make Pokemon models for all 2,000 to be the starter.
They've got the resources. They just choose not to spend them. They definitely have the resources. The money is the money is there. Trust me.
They don't want to do
check.
it.
But yeah, I mean, obviously you can't have like the evolutions, but like a list of base Pokemon that are in the game, you should just be able to choose from, especially if they're like maybe not the rare ones, but like the common ones.
And then it doesn't evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah. Is that it?
Nothing on Pokemon, Delvin?
Nah.
Who's your favorite? What trio are you waiting for?
Pikachu.
Because Pikachu's dope.
He's my guy.
Yeah.
Put on a little funny hat.
Boring.
That's my dude.
Would you pay $2.99 to play as Detective Pikachu in the Pokemon
Fuck
game?
yeah.
See? They're leaving money on the table. I've been on this for years. Every time we get a new Pokemon game, I'm like, Jack, why do I have to have these? Why do I have to have this stupid fish? I don't care. I don't like you.
Pikachu, anyway.
Go away.
Yes. If I can't get Pikachu, I'm getting Charmander.
Why can't I start as like Machop? Like, why can't I just pick one that I like?
Machop as a starter.
I want Machop. Machop is awesome.
You're the only one that wants Machop as a starter.
But here you are over Sobble and Owl thing, and
he's a round boy.
Nonsense. Nonsense
Round.
is what
He's
it is.
a
Nonsense.
little
I can't
turtle.
start. Why can't I start with Ghastly? Why can't I start with Cubone?
I mean, those two are fine.
Let me pick one. It's always the same.
I'm kind of leaning towards what Donnie says now. Yeah.
See?
I mean, I was with
You guys
until
fucking hating on Machop. You're getting on my nerves.
Machop
Who
is
doesn't love
stupid.
Machamp?
As a starter to like
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's called a starter. That's what it's called, a starter.
You got to start from the bottom so you can be here.
Why do you guys hate Machop? Where did this come from? When was it?
Stupid.
When was,
it's a stupid
why?
guy. He's stupid. He's a human.
Why?
He's like humanoid.
Oh my goodness. Help me, Delvin.
This is absurd. I like Machop.
Yeah. Let me start with like Abra.
Abra's fine.
Like let me pick one. Let me start with something.
Abba?
Something I like.
That was good.
You can't do but not Machop.
Not
She's
Machop.
like, that's cool, but not Machop.
Machop crosses the line.
Let me be Geodude. How about that?
Geodude.
That's possibly
I like Geodude.
worse.
Geodude. I like how you
Nidoran.
Nidoran's great.
See? That'd be a great starter.
Yeah, it would be.
Poliwag.
Nidoran, and you can pick the female or male version because they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Let's go Nidoran.
But no, we get Oshawu or whatever, and Poplio, and
I love Poplio. Please do not slander Poplio.
Playing the Poplio.
it's like the same. It's like they reskin the same thing over and over again. They're like, here you go, just keep. Yeah, I don't like it.
Whatever.
I'm old.
Next week I'm going to talk about Top Gear, so get ready for that.
Vulpix. Yeah,
Vulpix is my favorite.
Vulpix.
man. We do Vulpix, Poliwag, and Nidoran. Pick one.
Perfect.
That's great. Water,
I like
fire, grass. It's awesome.
Perfect.
We
Wait,
did it.
Nidoran's not grass.
Well, in my head, the cards. But you're right. In my head, is the cards. They're grass types in the card game, but they've moved them to psychic types in the card now. The card game, they're
Why?
psychic types now.
They're not psychic.
Yeah, the
either.
cards. I'm so focused on the card game, it never matches up with the actual game.
That's
So Jack is in Jack's mind, he's constantly juggling like 25 Pokemon types, and in my mind, I have like 8. But he knows them all, like the dark versus fighting versus ground versus poison, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a grass type because that's where it is in my grass deck. And he's like, it's not a grass type, and I have to like pull out the damn card.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week.
Fun week.
Yeah.
Fun week.
Fun week.
Happy 7th.
Let's play some what? 7th. Oh, 7th anniversary. Yeah. I thought
Yeah, 7th anniversary. Yeah.
I'm like so past that now.
Next-
7th. I'm like today's the
Your face is
3rd.
like, all right, guys, so let's play some what the fuck. That was great.
All right. See you next week.
Peace.
Goodbye, Kooplings.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?